Hello, hello. Welcome back to our ranking Coldplay series. My name is David Cole. I'm still kind of figuring this introduction out, and I'm trying to just get into the songs. Um, Hilariously enough, in the introduction video, just a couple videos before this, talking about how great Coldplay was live. You got to see Coldplay live. I'm recording this the day after, just to kind of timestamp this in history, the day after the big Coldplay concert affair um, video blew up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know how you didn't see it. I had everyone that knew I liked Coldplay that saw it was sending me stuff, sending me jokes about it and all kinds of crazy stuff. Um, that's not why I recommended you to go see Coldplay. Obviously, they're a great show. Hopefully, you go there with your significant other if you have one, and if not, go with some friends. It's a great concert. Do not have an affair. Okay, so let's get into song 90. On the 90th song, we have Again from Everyday Life, Sunrise. This is a really good song, and it is a song that's a really great opener. Like a lot of the songs that I've had ranked early in this series, so lower down for Coldplay, it is nice and satisfying, but it's like better in the context of like, hey, I'm putting in this album and I'm here to listen to the album. And so I'm hearing this introductory song because I'm going to hear the rest of the album. In isolation, a lot of these transitional and introductory songs, just some of them do hit really well for me. We'll get some of those later higher up on the list. But some of them just make me feel like unfinished and unsatisfied. I'm like, I want to continue listening to the album. So on their own, it's like this is good, but not good enough for me to put it up higher. It's also for me just a little bit long, not significantly, but a little bit long. It's just a minor critique, honestly. But that's really all I have for this one. It's a pretty simple song. It's really, really pretty, and I really don't even care that it's very different from what Coldplay usually does. I enjoy that in this song. Sometimes they are experimental, and it doesn't really hit for me. But this one, that's not the problem I have with it. It's more just like, I wish it was maybe like 30 seconds shorter, and because it is like 2.5 minutes, and I wish that I don't know what I would want for it, but like the critique is that that can't really stand on its own as well for me. Um, I'm not really sure why, but that's where I am with number 90, Sunrise. Beautiful song though. Um, see, not intentional pun. The next song is beautiful. Number number 89, and I will not pronounce it how my wife pronounces it. If you want to hear her pronounce it, you need to reach out to her personally. So Stacy can she can do that for you. For me, this would be significantly higher if not for the puppet. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then God bless you. You take the good with the bad with artists like this and with people that are really creative and artistic. And for some reason, there's like several different people I didn't know, but my wife and I went and saw the Avett Brothers last year. I think it was last year, 2024, I believe. Maybe it was early 2025. I can't remember now. But and they had like puppet versions of themselves, and I was like, I did not know this was like a thing that artistic people just like really like puppets. And I don't have a problem with puppets, but like the Avett Brothers, they sang the music still, and the puppets were just like a fun little thing that was there. And I was like, it's kind of weird, but like whatever. For this song and a couple other songs, this is the one that's the most obvious. But there are a few other songs where the puppet is in the background. I don't know who is voicing the puppet, if it's like some heavily voice altered version of Chris Martin or what it is, but it doesn't sound like Chris. It sounds like and that's the point. It's supposed to sound like a unique person, character thing. There's a bunch of other puppets that all do different instruments, and it's just, it's just no thanks. And the puppet version is a minute and a half of a 3 minute song, so 3 minute like 10-second song. So and then they do like duet the middle. So even the middle still has the puppet in it, and it's not terrible. If the puppet was unbearable, this would be a lot lower on the list, a lot lower. It's just out there for me, too odd for me. And if you love the song, more power to you. I'm not gonna be like, oh, what a goof, like oh, they're crazy. Um, just not for me. So, um, and there's nothing musically that really really brings me in. Um, Chris's voice is really good when he like flips up the "You're So Beautiful" part. That's like fantastic. Love that. But, it takes 2 minutes and about 15 seconds until you get Chris by himself without the puppet voice. And that's, in a 2 15-minute song, or sorry, a 3 15-minute song is like 2 minutes, 15 seconds roughly, somewhere around there. Uh, into the song to where you can just have him sing and hear his beautiful voice. So that's kind of it's more detracting, and there's not a lot that like really I love outside of some vocal parts from Chris. So let's get to 88. 88 is always in my head. This was a song that when I first ranked the Coldplay songs, I had a good bit higher. It has fallen for me, not obviously not significantly. It's still, I mean, there's still almost 20 songs that I've ranked higher than this, so it's not like it's a bad song. It's just not where I used to have it. I do think it is a good opening song for the album. I think it is a little bit long for what you get. It is almost 4 minutes, and there's really not a whole lot here. And in my head, not again, not a pun. When I think of the song, what I love about it, it's the end when Chris flips up the always in my head line to go to his falsetto. And that's actually not as big a part of the song as you're remembering. I'm hesitating because I'm not even sure it's the end of the song. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, it's like the very, very end of the song. I think the last 40, 45 seconds. And it's just, he says it like once or twice, and that flipped up and then comes back down. So vocally, like as I've criticized a few other songs, it just kind of stays in this like comfortable, which is fine. But like when you've heard him do these beautiful falsettos and these powerful, like, when he kind of hits the top end of his full voice, that is like, oh, goosebumps. Like, this is incredible. And so when he doesn't do that, especially when he does it so consistently, you go to a Coldplay concert, he's gonna be doing that kind of stuff most of the concert. So like when you're getting that so much in his stuff, it's difficult to go through a 3 minute song where you're not getting that more than a couple like he says always in my head, flipped up, I think once or twice at the very end, towards the very end. So it's a few seconds of a 3 minute song that you're getting, and so it's like, well, why wouldn't you put that into more of the song? It makes you want more of that, not more of the song per se, 'cause that would be a compliment, right? But really, it makes you want more of him in that falsetto because it's so beautiful. It's like, well, why have you spent the whole song down here, and just a little bit up there? Like, if it was like 45 seconds even instead of like 5 seconds that he's up in that falsetto, I would probably have this 5 to 10 spots higher just because you can get so much more out of the song then. Whereas now I'm kind of like, yeah, I really like it. The vibe of it is really nice. It's kind of mellow and chill and kind of this is more earlier, like last episode I had a couple songs and I was like it's kind of melancholy feeling and kind of he's singing vocally kind of dark and down, and I don't like the way he's doing it here. And there are other songs that I like how he's doing it. This is one of them. It's melancholy in all the right ways. For me, it's just like kind of one note, and it gives you a glimpse of like what could be with the falsetto. It doesn't actually go through and like actually like really make something of that moment. It's just like a quick line. That's a couple seconds. And so it's like, oh man, this could be a really great song, and instead it's just like a really good song. So that's number 88. Number 87 is, I'm gonna pronounce it Eterna. I know there is it's a really fun song, and I know there is ties to Coldplay Live. They've done this kind of live before they put it on the album for a while, just like it's like a fun like dance song. Um, and if it wasn't as fun as what it was, it would be a lot lower because it's pretty different for Coldplay, and it's not really what I think of when I think of Coldplay. Obviously, it's just kind of like almost kind of like EDM, like electronic dance music, like sort of Daft Punky, but um the positives, you have Chris singing at the high end of his register, the high end of his like full voice, and you get for the chorus is falsetto. Uh and so vocally it's really great. And there's a guitar part that I really love the tone of over the chorus. And those are two really big positives. I just think that like it is over again, it's over long considering what it's doing. And I wish it was a little less dance music-y. I don't know what to like how to do that necessarily, but you have to take like the beat track out of it and do more like actual drum kit stuff. And the other thing that I don't love about it is basically the main part of this song is 3 minutes, and I'm timing it right now on Spotify about 3 minutes and like 10 seconds. And then in the last full minute is like a different song, and that part of the song, I'm not positive what language this is, so I'm not gonna guess. But it's like really pretty singing and clapping of people singing in a different language. No problem with any of that. It like actually is kind of a nice little minute transitional song. Um, I feel like it should be a separate track. I feel like it because it also really somehow I don't know why musically I can't explain why, but it flows really well into the next song, which is All My Love. And so it works really well going into All My Love. It doesn't work really well with the rest of this song, Eterna. And so I'm like, I don't know why it's here and not a separate track. If it was a separate track, it probably wouldn't be on the list just because it would be about a minute. Um, and so if it was like 1 minute or less, it wouldn't be on the list. So, and it would like be a nice transitional song into Always in My Head, not Always in My Head, All My Love. Sorry. So it just kind of like doesn't fit right for me. So there's a couple of like oddities about this song that kind of put it down here. Otherwise, it's a really fun song, really good song. And I'm just trying like when you're ranking all these songs together, you have to almost nitpick everything to figure out like my gut instinct says that I had it, towards the bottom of Moon Music, the album. But I have to figure out why. And so I feel like I'm nitpicking a lot of these songs, but like when you have so many great songs from this band, you kind of have to. So let's get into 86, Swallowed in the Sea. This one I really like overall. But like when I went to go rank it against the rest of X and Y, I had it kind of low and I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized um, it's because it is almost 4 minutes, and a lot of it, Chris is just kind of like in this little pocket, like he does sometimes. And the melody is a little repetitive too. It's like the verses are like that. I don't want to like butcher it, but like da na 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 da 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 da. It's like very repetitive movements. And I'm going faster than the song, obviously. So if you listen to something like 1.5, you're just like, I just went flying through the song. But if you don't know what I mean, go listen to the first like 30 seconds. It's just the verses are really repetitive. Um, and it kind of just stays in this little pocket. Now it does build a little bit, which is nice, but it doesn't really do it in the same way that like Fix You does or some of the other songs where it really like builds and ebbs and flows in really dramatic ways. It doesn't quite get there. So again, kind of nitpicking it and trying to figure out why I would have it in the 80s versus like the 60s or 50s. So not like this is like a bad song. Um, and or anything like that. Just like it's just kind of, and even like the chorus. That's the thing too. And I've mentioned on the last episode, I had at least one song that was doing this. It's like verse back to back, and this one's even worse than the one that I mentioned it before last time because the verses are significantly longer. So like I'm trying to see where the first chorus is. Um, like well, the thing is I'm not even sure there really is a chorus here. Yeah, it's like I guess there is a chorus. Yeah, it kind of is a chorus. The I Could Write a Song is probably the chorus, but it's like the vibe of it the first time is like low. So there is kind of like verse, chorus, verse, chorus. So I'm wrong about that a little bit. But the reason why it doesn't feel like it is because it's the same. The second verse builds up to, and I Could Write a Book, and that's the first time it feels like this is a chorus. The first chorus doesn't really feel like it, and that's a minute 45 into the song. And so I think it just takes too long to build to that. And even when it does build to that, it's not like it's building to this huge moment. It's building to this like it's starting off really low and just kind of builds up to this like little normal level. And then it doesn't really go anywhere with that really. The one moment that I do that does like kind of stand, so it's like it's not bad. It's just kind of like this is fine. This is all fine. Um, the one part that I do like is when he does flip up. Um, Yeah, it's when he says forget but not forgive. Loving All You See, and then all the streets you're walking on, he like kind of pushes it up. That part is really great. Um, but that only lasts like 20 seconds, 15 seconds. No, like yeah, like 10 to 15 seconds. So it's just a small part of that song. I wish that was more prominent. The same as I had with Always in My Head. It is a longer stretch than Always in My Head, but it's not enough to really be like, oh yeah, this is a really great part of the song. It's like this is a cool little thing that I wish was more common throughout the song. So nothing super critical with this one, just like it's but also it doesn't have anything that I'm like, oh I love this, oh I love this. So um speaking of kind of being feeling good about a song but not great, this is the same thing. I really like the song. It's a lot of fun. I like the opening. Um, the guitar riff is nice. The tone on the guitar for this song is really cool. Um, and it's kind of cheesy, but not like too bad, honestly. But everything in it is I'm just like this is good. I'm enjoying this, but it's not like anything. There's nothing in it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this part. I guess the end is probably the best part where he's talking about flying on the bicycle and then like talking about like having ET with him and like just like kind of a nostalgic like feeling. But again, that's like the last 30 seconds to a minute of the song, and the rest of it is a 4.5, 4:15-ish minute song. Um, and so it's like it's good. I enjoy it. It's a little cheesy, but and there's really nothing in it that I'm like, oh, I really love this. So that's probably where we're gonna be with a lot of these songs in this area, where it's like there's a couple of small nitpicky things, but because there's nothing that I really love about the song, I have it in this range. So I don't want to just wax poetic on number eight, number 87 and 86, 85, even though I probably have a little bit too much. So let's go ahead and get on to 84. So I actually do have a lot to talk about with this one here. I'll try to keep it as brief as I can. Um, this one here, not too different from Daylight or Whisper. I don't love his vocal choices all of the time, but this one is better to me by a good bit than both of those, just on its merits, just like, actually critically. But I also have non-critical reasons for liking this song. I don't love the ending actually. The last minute, which is it's a 5.5 minute song. It's a long song. It's too long, and I don't love the ending. But I personally really connect to this song, and I think that he makes a lot more interesting vocal choices in this one than he does in Daylight and Whisper. And I'm using those specifically because they are very similar, beyond the fact that they're on the same album, which is probably why they're so similar, but in terms of style, right? Quick, I'll just go and get the personal point out of the way, and then we can move on. Because like again, like a lot of this is nothing terrible, nothing I'm like, oh, I hate this part, I don't like that part, a little bit nitpicky with his vocal choices um and it's a little bit too long given what you get out of it to me. There's not enough going on for it to be interesting enough for it to warrant the 5.5 minutes. So personal story though, this song always has reminded me I didn't really care much for it until sometime in the 2010-ish range. Not exactly then probably, but like sometime in that range, 2012, I don't know, somewhere around there. Um my wife and I, Stacy, we've been married for at this point it's going to be um 9 years. Yeah, it's going to be 9 years in September, and we had broken up for a short period of time, about a year actually, but and in that time period, off and on, I would just feel like I needed to get back with her, like she was the one, and like I just knew that she was right for me and that I loved her, and but there were certain things that just in my life and in her life at that point that kind of made it to where if we were gonna do this, it would be it would be work, not like a lot of work, not like really difficult, but just like work. And when you're in your early 20s and you haven't really had to work at a relationship much before, it makes you feel like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe because it's not just easy that I might be wrong and that this is not the right person for me for some reason. Um, and this song I was connected to because he's basically saying like for some reason I was looking for reasons that we shouldn't be together, but I realized that I actually do just miss you and I want to be with you. And so that's kind of like that song kind of help me somehow work through those thoughts and those ideas with my own personal story. And then eventually, obviously, we did get back together, and that's the end of that story. So, so because of that, it's hard for me to piece out my nostalgia for this song and my personal attachment to the song. But this is where I have it ranked right now. Okay, 83 is Oceans, and this is a song that I know some of my friends that are Coldplay fans have a good bit higher. Um, and I don't because not for any, not like so I've always really liked this song, but it is a song that um like people that I know that like my sister love. And I don't know what it is. I've never personally like really loved it. And it's surprising because I like these kind of songs on the guitar, acoustic, rhythm-driven songs are the kinds of things that I played a lot in my, um, first 5, 10 years playing guitar, especially because I wasn't really playing hardly any electric. Um, I would always play these kind of songs, and I love these kind of songs, and I do really like it. I just don't love it, and I think part of it is that there are other songs that Coldplay has done before this song came out that are similar, but I think are better. And it's vocally more interesting than a lot of other ones. It's very melancholy, but again, I think it's melancholy in like all the right ways. And like his voice expresses the emotion really well, I think. And you get his falsetto like right away in the first verse, like the fifth line, he flips to falsetto. Um, I mean, like it's good. So if someone's like, "Oh my gosh, this song should be so much higher." Like I'm not gonna argue against you. It's just for whatever reason I did not connect with it as much as you did. Um, and so I don't really have any big criticisms. I wish that the ending was like a separate track because the song ends at like 3 minutes and 20-ish seconds, and there's like 3.5 minutes maybe. Yeah, a little past 3.5 minutes, and there's over a minute and a half of like them trying to basically like set the vibe to flow back into the beginning of the album from Ghost Stories, which is always in my head. Um, and it doesn't quite work for me. And so then I'm just like, which like you might just say, well, just click the next song, skip forward, like whatever. Yeah, but like that's a minute 45 of a 5 and 20 minute second song, and like I have to take that into account when I'm trying to just divvy up and rank all these songs. And so I can't just be like, well, yeah, in real time I would just click next song and I wouldn't even think about it. But that's not what we're doing here. We are ranking every single song, and so I have to take it in its entirety. And when I say every single song, there's a couple caveats to that. The really short songs that are transitional, we're not going to count those. But this is a full song, obviously, and it has about a minute 45 that I don't really care about. I never listen to hardly ever. I usually just skip it. And so that does play into account. And then that doesn't mean I dropped it like 7 or 8 spots because of that, but did I drop it a couple of spots probably because of that? Yeah, probably. Maybe it would be like in the high 70s because of that, like 79, 78. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I just think it's kind of like it's also the vibe of it kind of just stays in this little pocket for like almost 4 minutes. And that's the thing is vocally he makes it more interesting than it is because he's Chris Martin. Uh, but like if you had somebody else sing this song would be like probably 10 spots lower, I think. I don't know. So nothing super critical, just kind of I like it. I like it a lot. I don't think it's great. I don't love it. That's why I have it here. So this song is another song that is a reason why I would say that Oceans does not hit for me as well as it does for other people because UFO I think is very similar, just better. And it's so much shorter. It is what, 2 minutes? 2 minutes and 15, 2 minutes and 17 seconds, something like that. Um, and I think the guitar does more interesting stuff because it kind of arpeggios some chords here and there, and it has some more movement. More Oceans is just kind of like more steady strumming, and it does some interesting stuff in there with the guitar. Don't get me wrong, but not on the level of UFO to me. And so, and UFO's half the length, basically, not really, but close to half the length. Um, and I actually think that what Chris Martin does here is just as vocally just as good, just as interesting as it is in Oceans. For this one, it's just like in terms of why is it 82 and not 75 or whatever, something higher. It's really simple. Just like Oceans is pretty simple too. Um, and so I like it. I like it a lot. It's really pretty. Um, but this one doesn't feel like a full song. It reminds me a lot of what did I have? Parachutes from last video. Whereas like I would love this if it was twice as long or a minute longer or something like that. This one here, if it had like an extra minute and had like some variety to it, it had some other feel, like a bridge or a chorus kind of feeling. This is all kind of just like it feels like a long poem, like not a long poem, but like a musical poem. Which I know that's like weird to say because songs just literally are musical poems, but some songs they feel like most songs, they feel like they have a lot of variety within that time period that you're spending listening to it. Whereas to me, a poem is supposed to be very consistent, not always, but can be generally consistent in terms of the ebb and flow of the words and the pacing of the lines. And like a lot of poems are very samey in that way. And that's not a knock on poems, it's just kind of how they are a lot of times. Um, so when you're used to songs that especially with Coldplay, have a lot of variety to them. When you have songs like Oceans and UFO, where it's like 2 to 4 minutes of kind of just sitting here in this pocket, um, it's for me a reason to have it a little bit lower than a few other songs. So, nothing again super critical. Really like the guitar part, like I said, and I think Chris's voice is really good on it. It's just there's not a whole lot to um, take away from it. So it's like, it's nice, it's cool, I like it, but nothing amazing. Um, Again, not intentional pun. The next song is going to be Amazing Day. In this song, like I've said a couple times, a few other different songs, I've always liked, but not had super high because it reminds me of other songs that I like more. And I won't spoil that at all, but I think it's a good song. I really enjoy it in terms of it's a little bit slow, I guess. Like it kind of has that same like almost like you're on the ocean or on a wave. Like but I love the guitar tone in the opening. I just wish there was a little bit more. I wish the guitar was the lead guitar was more present in the song. Um, but the tone on it is really good. I mean, the guitar tone for Coldplay is generally really great. Um, and this is no exception. It is a little cheesy, a little cliche, but it's fine. I'm not like upset about that too much. Um, it's the part that I really do like is the bridge. Um, and it just takes a while to get going, I think, after that intro. Um, like the first, like I've said about a few of these other songs, the first chorus is stay down here. Chris Martin stays down here. Um, the guitar lick there, like the lead line there, I like a lot. It's simple, but I like it a lot. And then it goes back into the intro, like interlude not vocal, musical segment, where it's the guitar mostly. Um, but the guitar, the chorus is basically just like him saying "Amazing Day." Like that's the chorus, and then he does it twice the first time, and then 4 times the second time, and then 4 times again at the end of the song. I don't know. I wish there was a little bit more to it than that. So a lot of the same criticisms of songs in this general area, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. I like the song. I just wish there was more to it, especially the chorus. And it takes like, does Chris even get into his falsetto here? Trying to listen to it. No. It takes until he's not even like at the top of his full voice. So basically the song breakdown is this little introductory musical segment with the guitar lead line, then a verse and a short chorus, and then the introductory interlude musical guitar riff, that da 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 da, that part, right? I'm not gonna sing too much because It's not my thing. Uh, then another verse in a full chorus, which is him saying "Amazing Day" 4 times, which again is like, I wish this was more. Then there's the musical interlude with the guitar part again, which I like that part, so I'm happy to have it again. And Chris harmonizes, and he doesn't harmonize, he just sings with the notes. He like sings a high vocalization, like oh, with the notes. Um, and I love that. But that's almost 3 minutes into a 4.5 minute song. And then he goes right into the bridge, which is really great. But that's the first time he sings like at the top of his register, really at the top of his range. And so it's like a lot of these songs, it's like they just kind of take, this is not a huge, like glaring problem where I'm like, this is a terrible song. It's just like some reason to differentiate it from songs that I like more. Is that he's in that lower part of his main uh voice for just kind of too long for me, especially when you do get to that, you're like, oh man, I wish this was going on for longer. Now granted, he stays up there for a good long time. So unlike a few other songs that I mentioned earlier, like Always in My Head and was it Warning Sign maybe that I mentioned, where I wish it was there longer and it's not there for very long. Um, this one is there for a long time. I just still wish it happened earlier. It's almost 3 minutes into the song before that happens. So, okay, into the rambling. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know if you have any songs, any artists or bands that you think I should do after I finish Coldplay, and look forward to songs 71 to 80 next episode. Um, yeah, let me know what you think. And I don't think there's anything else that I'm gonna add. Go see Coldplay live, um, and go with your significant other or with a friend.